What if you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Position yourself to receive from God with Bishop David G. Evans teaching When Men Pray.
Have there been times when you have asked someone to pray for you and the prayer has not been answered? Because instead of praying for yourself, you waited until someone else that you thought had more power would pray for you. Prayer is something that you resort to immediately and not as a last resort. You need to learn how to pray preemptively. You need how to pray ahead of time. Don't always be praying in response. Pray proactively. Pray before it happens. Lord, cover my child. Lord, bless my day.
Develop your relationship with God with this dynamic teaching on CD or DVD when you write to us. Visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480.
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to OnPointe, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. Live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device at David G. Evans 1. That's at David G. Evans, the #1. We ask you to like us and subscribe to us, and above all, share with at least 5 people right now. Share with all your followers. Ask them to join us on this great conversation as we talk about faith, of course, as we talk about culture, as we talk about events, politics, sports, any particular event that is impacting your life in any way. We approach it from a biblical point of view, always from a kingdom point of view. We're so glad you joined us today. We ask you to give us a call at 866-743-8267. That's 866-743-8267. That's 866-74-EVANS. Give us a call. We'd love to talk to you this morning on a variety of subjects. We have things we already have prepared to discuss, but we're always open to your suggestion. Of course, joining me once again this morning is our world-famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas A. Smith. Hey, man, how you doing?
Good morning, everybody.
A lot going on out here in this world, man.
To say the least.
A lot going on in this world. I think I was looking. I'm starting to hear the rollout of those things that have been overshadowed by the Roe versus Wade decision. Those rights that, or changes that were made that are getting no publicity at all. That, and I don't believe those things are accidental. Things like that impact voting, impact your right to litigate in civil rights infractions, those type of things. They just went away, and people won't know that they lost them until they need them.
Yep, because they're focused just on the one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how politics does that.
Yeah, they're smart. They know people.
Yeah, throw this out here. It's going to get all the attention. Mm-hmm. All this other stuff is coming in the back door.
Yep. What is that I learned yesterday about polarization? That if you can get a group of people focusing on, I'm going to get this wrong,
Mm-hmm.
a group of people, everybody focusing on one thing for a long period of time.
Right.
It does something to your rationale, to your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you look at this phone for a long time
Mm-hmm.
and I scream, you'll jump up. The
Right.
phone didn't move.
No.
It's something about how our brains are wired.
Yeah.
That if you're focused on one thing,
Yeah.
you overreact to.
Yeah. It sounds like the modern day explanation of tunnel vision and what it does to you as it relates to everything else around.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else seems like an intrusion, or you won't really see anything clearly anymore because you're stuck
It's
on that
just
one thing.
that one thing.
Yeah.
And they know people.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get them focused on this
Well,
big thing.
these things, we think they're random, but people think these things through.
Nah.
These phones never became addictive until they realized we need to put some stuff on them.
Yeah.
And then people will start to really get focused on them, and to the expense of other things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching people's ability to converse,
Mm-hmm.
relate to one another, reduced to a text or a post.
Yep.
It's amazing to me.
It is. I mean, they knew it's. There are days I miss. You can't reach me till I get home and check my voicemail.
Oh. Boy, you said something there.
But they did a lawsuit for that, where now if you have an Apple device,
Mm-hmm.
they're obligated to tell you how long you've been on your phone.
Why?
Because again, the same thing.
Okay.
It's attracting so much attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
So now they tell you you've been on your phone 40% more this week than you were last week.
But the contradiction in that advice, of course, for them is that they're telling you that the only way to be successful on social media is to spend hours and hours, which is why you see people looking at their phones in a variety of situations, even in social situations.
And that's why they get paid. Like Google will never tell you that,
Mhm.
because Google, the more you search, the more money they make.
Absolutely.
So it's like they'll keep you on. It's
I had a hamster when I was a kid, and I was amazed at how fast he pedaled in that wheel, and didn't realize he was going absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
A lot of activity,
Mm-hmm.
not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So Biden signs an executive order on abortion, and what is he? He's trying to slow the states up, and
Well, it's
in
just
their
really
legislation.
giving women more options, more accessibility,
Okay.
that type of thing. He did make a push for the next election.
Okay.
That all he needs, if everything stays the same,
Mhm.
all he needs is 2 or 3 more senators.
Okay.
So Congress can make a sweeping rule and not ban abortion,
Yeah.
contrary to the Supreme Court. So
Okay. I think that you're a better historian at the Constitution than I am, but when I read the Constitution, and particularly Article 2, the Constitution supports the right to life.
Mhm.
It's constitutionally there. The government can only take your life for certain reasons, and that it's against the law or against your constitutional rights for people to take your life.
Depends on how they view life.
Yeah, well,
Their interpretation of life.
That's where the loopholes came in. That's where the loopholes came in. But it's there.
It's there.
And it's funny how it's not open to interpretation unless I need it to be.
Of course.
Yeah.
Until it fits my narrative.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because even on the flip side, there like the women who are pregnant, who are having those real major issues with pregnancy, and the doctor says, look, we got to terminate this because you might die, They'll say, no, just keep having the baby, and But again, doesn't the woman have a right to live as much as, I know it's a complex situation, but you get what I'm saying, as much as the child does.
I think, we had this discussion last night in our pastors' meeting, and, it comes down to the baby or the mother, you save the mother. A life has to be saved. So, but we talked about that. I taught on it actually last night, and going to do that today when we get ready to do our 8 a.m. service for tomorrow. But it's a opinion-filled subject with a lot of reasoning. But I think believers need to know what the Word says about this.
Sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But we look at choice now as the product of our choices is what makes them good or evil. But choice is a principle in the Bible from the beginning. The garden is a garden of choices. Are you going to work it like I told you? Are you going to keep your hands off the tree like I told you? It's, God, He gave us a will so we could make a choice, and He delights when we choose Him.
Yeah. And Lord, we won't get into this topic anymore. But oh well.
Yeah.
I mean, I posted something the other day. It's true. Out of love, God gave them a command in the garden. It was love-based.
Yes.
The requirement came from love, out of protection, love.
Yep.
And God in turn wanted them to love Him enough not to touch the tree.
That's right.
The whole thing is love. The command is love.
It's all relational.
The obedience is love.
It's all relational. Well, the kingdom is relational.
It's just
the kingdom is relational.
Yeah.
The garden, to me, was a provision birthed out of the love God had for man, has for man. So it's the whole relationship. Kingdom to me is based on relationship.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we actually don't think the law springs from love, but it does.
Yeah. The Bible says there was nothing wrong with it. It was something wrong with us. And our ability
to adhere to it.
Yeah.
But
in the law, all the law was a platform for a need for a savior and God's grace.
But the other thing I liked was that the law also gave you the roadmap for how to relate to the God that loves us. This is what you need to do. I'm gonna use modern words. This is what you need to do to have a successful life. This is what I've created you to be, and this is what I've created you to do. It boils down to those two things.
It's the spirit of the law. It wasn't about shrimp. It was about staying clean. That's where people get mixed up.
Well, we focus on fruit in the garden when it was really about choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see Giuliani and Lindsey Graham and others were served with subpoenas for their role in trying to reverse the election.
Yeah.
But I understand the attorney went in for 8 hours yesterday, and the committee comes out with he was very forthcoming. But I believe people are racing. They're going to now race to testify because this young woman has kind of uncovered the goings on behind the scenes. So now people want to, in a criminal investigation, you want to get in the door first. You don't want to be the last one coming in.
Yeah.
So now we're going to see a scramble of people who said, I'm not coming. Now, can we talk?
Now, Lindsey Graham, he said he wasn't going, but we'll see what happens.
Well, I think
he said that a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I think the committee,
for all this.
I think the committee needs to, because they can have folk arrested.
Yeah.
I think they need to start doing some stuff that would be done to them.
Right. To a normal.
Oh yeah, I mean, if the Republicans were in this position and a Democrat said I ain't coming, they'd send the police for him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Convict him and everything.
Oh come on, man. So the 4th of July parade, do you think that's going to move the needle on gun violence?
Oh heck no.
Why?
He ain't gonna do crap.
You don't think so?
No. And the crazy thing, the boy or the young man,
Mm-hmm.
they had all the signs.
Right.
I think a knife situation.
Right.
Something else.
Right.
The father still helped him buy a gun and say, I didn't see no.
The height of stupidity.
Yeah. I'm like, sir,
The height of stupidity.
your son has been showing you all these signs.
And he said he was going to kill everybody in the family.
Mm-hmm. And then you gonna go buy your son a gun.
So you figure, well, let's go buy him a gun and see if he gets through this phase.
Yeah.
Well, he won't work out that phase in that house.
Right. Yeah. It's foolishness.
You can't want to be so popular with your children that you not only endanger your family, but you endanger the kid.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's not normal to have 20 knives in the house.
No.
It's not normal. You want a knife? Go down and get a butter knife out of the kitchen and make some toast.
Right.
You got 20 knives in the house.
Mm-hmm. And again, what does a 20-year-old need an AR-15 for?
A grown man doesn't need an AR-15.
Somebody from the military said that the M16s, they had to
Yeah.
lock them up if they weren't in use for training. Or for
Absolutely.
combat.
Absolutely.
And he's like, I don't understand why they're giving these guns out to people when we can't even pull them out.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. But there's something in this. There's such a lack of concern in our country now for other people, for one another, that I'm going to fight for my right and the way I want that right to be administered, even though other people may die,
Yeah.
so I can have my way.
Yes.
That makes no sense to me.
And then say that we have the right to right to live. Yeah.
The Constitution
Yeah.
guarantees you have a right to security, liberty, and life.
Mhm.
That's what the Constitution says.
And all based off interpretation.
Well, I mean,
we know what it means. We
those
know what
words
it's supposed
are
to mean.
plain.
Yeah.
And it's not just in that one place. I think Article 2, maybe Article 21. I mean, it's splattered throughout the Constitution that, life is supposed to be protected.
Yeah. Their life. Yeah, a bunch of slave owners wrote that.
Yeah, I know.
I know. I'm just being.
I know you are.
I know where you stand. I'm just talking about for people.
I
know where you are.
Yeah,
People.
I don't know. I've been saying for however many years, who determines what?
Yeah.
All the time. It's whoever it pertains to, that determines what it's going to be.
Absolutely.
So you don't really see the needle moving from that.
Nah.
Police officers in Philadelphia were shot on 4th of July. I'm still trying to work through this Jalen Walker thing in my head. Now, my experience with weaponry is that one bullet usually knocks you down. So how long did they keep firing at this boy while he was laying on the ground?
I watched the video. It was a consecutive. It was like 7 or 8 of them.
Okay.
So that's why it went over 90 times. They just emptied the clip basically, all at one time.
But something in you does not say the man is down?
Yeah. They just kept going.
So he's on the ground and they keep shooting?
Yeah. It went by quick. It wasn't long, but still, it was enough.
Well, it doesn't
It was
matter.
enough.
It doesn't
It was
matter.
enough.
60 shots,
Yeah.
but they shot 90 times.
Mm-hmm. And he was on the ground. They just kept until their clip was empty.
So they felt threatened by him at that point?
They claimed that while he was in the car,
But he wasn't in the car when they shot him.
I know. We know this.
Come on now.
We know this.
Come on now.
They assumed, he must have a gun with him while he was
Running away?
running away. Like, come on.
And where'd this happen?
In Ohio.
Somewhere around Akron, right?
Yeah, somewhere.
Okay. It should have clicked. I should have called one of my pastor contemporaries in Akron and got on the ground type of situation. Maybe we can.
Yeah.
Maybe I can call him during the weekend. He can
Yeah.
call.
And they handcuffed him while he was dead. Like, he was dead by then.
They handcuffed the dead man?
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not lying to you. They went over there and handcuffed him. Like,
With 60 bullets in it.
yes.
They didn't think the 60 bullets was reasonable restraint?
Right.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. So they arrested a teen in San Antonio who was planning a mass shooting?
Yep.
and 2 more were arrested in Richmond. So we got copycat stuff going on.
Yeah. Yep.
So wait a minute, where did Justice Breyer go?
He retired. He retired. He said he was going to retire back in January, I believe, February, one of them. And then he actually put in his notice at the beginning of this month.
Now, were they expecting him to retire
Yes.
this soon?
No, he did say he was going to retire, but
Okay.
all of a sudden one day, I think it was.
It's too much pressure.
Yeah, I think he's 81 years old.
Okay.
Part of me wonders if they got him to retire early,
Mm-hmm.
so before November's election come, they can pass somebody through between here and November.
You mean Biden's?
Biden,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
They cut deals there too. I saw something interesting this morning. They said that a lot of the religious right in our country, that a couple of them have been whining and dining Supreme Court justices.
Oh yeah, of course. I wouldn't. Come on, man.
Ethics says you're not supposed to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, they have no ethics. Well, I mean, all of a sudden Kavanaugh has all this debt, and then it's automatically wiped out of nowhere.
It's gone?
Yeah, he was in the 6 figures, I believe, in debt
Okay.
before he got into his Supreme Court position.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, it's all gone.
Somebody paid it.
Yes.
Wow.
But I think I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just said wow.
Yeah, but I think because his retirement. It was a Wednesday, I believe. He said, "I'm retiring tomorrow at noon." So that's what made me wonder if somebody talked to him,
They don't usually do it like that.
right, to get him out. Now he's a liberal. Clinton put him in office.
Okay.
In the seat. Clinton got him in. I'm wondering if they got him to retire, so they can push somebody through between here and November, a younger person,
Yeah.
just in case they lose seats in November.
Right. So Supreme Court expands state power over going after Native Americans too. What do they need expanded powers over them for?
Well,
Aren't they American citizens?
yes. Well, in the native, where do they live? What's the name of the place? You know, the place where they have set up for the natives
Okay.
to live in.
Not a reservation.
Somewhat like a reservation,
Okay.
that kind of thing. Thank you.
Yeah.
They have jurisdiction over law. So if
Okay.
somebody does something on a reservation, they're allowed to penalize the person without the state
Yeah.
or the U.S.
They have their own police
stepping in.
force.
Their own police
something
force.
like that.
The Supreme Court saying, no, you can try the person, and we can come in and try the person also.
Yeah. Okay.
So the natives are, that and some other stuff, they're feeling like they're expanding, they're basically taking
Yeah.
away from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, how does this happen? I guess it can happen if it's Supreme Court, because the head of the agency that interacts with the Native American tribes is a Native American.
Mhm.
So what are they trying to do?
I don't know, but I know the person that put the law in place, the one justice that
Yeah.
did, he is upset. He's thrown off.
Wow. So we have some gun safety legislation coming. I think if it still puts automatic weapons in the hands of minors, if it still has a loose way of getting approval, I don't. You have to take a test to drive a car.
Yeah.
You got to get a license to drive a car.
Yeah.
You got to be a certain age to smoke legally.
Right. Yeah.
I don't understand. There's no common sense. There's not a lot of common sense being exercised
Yeah.
when they're making these gun laws. The number one thing is to get them off the street and not get them in the hands of people
Yeah.
who shouldn't have them.
Right. Right.
Other than the Army and law enforcement, who needs an M16?
Yeah. Nobody.
Okay.
Oh, correction too. I made a mistake on this. So Ketanji Brown Jackson is taking the place of Breyer.
Okay.
Yeah. Who was sworn in that same day.
Okay.
But he did put a notice back in like February, January. He was retired.
So she came on. So it's time he can go now.
But they made it like it was a surprise, like because he all of a sudden said, "Hey, I'm out of here."
Well, if she came on to take his spot, so they wouldn't lose a seat, why make it sound like it's a big surprise?
Right.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay.
We got Robin on the phone from Newcastle, Delaware, 866-743-8267. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Won't you share, like, subscribe? Just hit that notification button. You don't want to miss one moment of these great conversations. 866-743-8267. Let's go to Robin. Hey, Robin, how you doing this morning?
Good morning, Bishop Pastor Nick.
You all right? You sound very pleasant this morning.
Yeah, I've been sick all week.
Been sick all week?
Did a COVID test today at 1 o'clock.
Okay. Why you wait so long?
I am vaccinated, but
Why you wait so long?
I had to make an appointment.
To get a test?
Well, yeah, because the slots, it's a place, the Curative,
Yeah.
here in Delaware,
Yeah.
in the mall, and I had to, get a day that had the slots open. There's
Okay.
so many people going getting tests now.
Well, it's because we're in another surge because of these two new variants, B4,
Yeah.
BA4 and BA5.
Yeah, and I keep my mask on, but you still, like you said, people walking around with it and don't know they have it.
Yep.
And they're spreading it. So Tamara got COVID. I still can't get her to get vaccinated. She
Okay.
stopped wearing a mask. So I said, why you do that? You got to keep wearing your mask.
She caught it and stopped wearing it?
Well, she had stopped wearing a mask, and then
she caught
texted me, texted me yesterday, Mom, I'm positive.
So did it change her thinking at all?
I can't even answer that. To be honest, I can't even answer. I said to me, you need to get vaccinated. I said, but start wearing your mask. Why you stop wearing your mask? That's when you go out into the stores and stuff. Come on. You got more common sense than that.
Trying to be like everybody.
You know who your pastor is, right?
She's trying to be like everybody else. I was at a place of business. I'll just leave it at that. And one of our members was in the place of business, and it was that type of place where most of the employees didn't have masks on. Well, this guy that I know, his health is challenged. So I'm like, I'm telling your wife. I said, I'm going right out of here and call her on the phone. I'm gonna tell. It's like, no, it's right here. It's not doing any good on the desk.
Right.
But there's this social pressure some people are feeling.
Yeah,
That if others don't have them on, you don't want to be the only one on. But I think that's silly.
I don't get it. I have 3 cousins. The only one that's vaccinated in their house is her husband, because he works for the post office.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why y'all not getting vaccinated? And they both had COVID. So, you know what? Don't expect me to be coming around you. You're going to not be getting vaccinated.
No.
And then even though I'm vaccinated, you can still get it. I can't do that. I mean, Uber make it optional now to wear a mask. It's fine, but I'm keeping mine on.
Keep yours on.
Yeah, and then Tamara said now if you are positive, they don't send anything out to the data. They don't, you don't have to be quarantined or anything no more. I'm like, okay, wow.
Well, we're not going to get better if people think that they can get sick and go back among people in 2 or 3 days, and we're just going to, you have to kind of make a decision on your own. If somebody identifies they have COVID.
Yeah, but it might have been the flu for me. Yeah, but
you didn't have any tests at home, Robin?
No, I ain't. I'm not going to go by those tests. I'm
Okay.
doing like you said, go to places.
Okay.
I'm using my bishop's common sense.
Okay now.
Yeah, but I just called you for a question. But I know y'all been talking about so much, especially with the mental illness going on.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy here that he didn't go out to shoot nobody and kill nobody, but he took his own life by getting out of his car on 95 and waited till someone came and hit him.
Wow.
Yes. I saw the body because it was traffic, and I'm like, what's all this traffic? And when I got up to it, I could see, the sheet over his body and whatnot. He was 22 years old. And the way I found out, my eye doctor's office, she was telling me, because I had told her about it. She said, aren't you the one that told me? And she said, well, his mother is a patient there. And she told him that her son is the one that committed suicide by vehicle on 95. So
That's
it's like,
traumatic.
what causes people, I guess, to get so depressed like that, to take their life like that?
I believe and have always believed, especially from counseling, a lot of people over the last couple of years. When you get into a place where you feel like there's no hope, and not just like we get disappointed one day, but some people get into a place where they feel like, tomorrow's not worth it. And I know a lot of us have been in situations, either relationally or circumstantially, where we said to ourselves, if I didn't wake up tomorrow, it'd be all right. But we were in no danger of hurting ourselves. People have the bad days, bad weeks, bad months. But I found that in the sessions that I've been privy to over the years, that when a person loses hope, and I'm not just talking about a sad day, when they feel like tomorrow is not worth it, they can make a incorrect decision in that moment, because what their life feels like a season instead of a phase. It feels permanent. So you find them making permanent decisions based on seasonal issues.
So, Bishop, my story. I thought of committing suicide many times. But what stopped me was my kids. But also, I'm like, okay, if I take my life that God gave me, will I go to heaven? So it was just a lot of things that was coming through my head. Like, if I do this, who is it going to hurt? And will I lose my everlasting life? I was down to that point where I wanted just to leave here. But I just thank God for your teachings and just talking to God and talking it through. But when a person does commit suicide, even if they are saved, do they still have everlasting life? Do they still go to heaven? Or
I think we've had this discussion before. I actually did a sermon. I think I've done one or two in the years for a person who took their own life. And I can't recall the entire message, but I believe the title was "He Had a Bad Day." And we make permanent decisions based on situational circumstances. And do I believe that if a person is authentically saved, can someone authentically saved get to a point of despondency? I believe that's possible.
okay.
But does that mean God is not going to admit them? My Bible sense says that He would admit them, but I don't know the definitive answer to that.
Right.
And I don't think I'm going to have a list of these questions for the Lord when I see Him face to face. Can we talk about this? I'm just going to be glad to be there.
Amen.
All of us have imperfections that we are going to go into glory with. But hopefully, as we grow, one of the things I've learned recently is that you become more of who you are the older you get, unless you intentionally decide to change.
Well, Bishop, we not old yet. I have that. But this last one, I really need your spiritual help.
Okay.
I lost 3 young cousins in the house fire in Buffalo on
Wow. On Monday?
Yes. 3:30 Monday morning. And I talked to my cousin Monday afternoon. She couldn't even tell me.
Of course.
She's like, Robin, you going to work. Jonathan was a well-known pediatrician. That's his name, Daniel.
Okay.
You can Google it. He was 53. His daughter was 27, and his baby girl was 23. All 3 of them perished.
Wow.
The wife, she recovered, and they have 1 daughter left, Jillian. Now, I want your, I'm not understanding what's going on in my family.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 5th family that we lost in the fire.
Really?
Yes, my great grandmother, back then, her apron caught on fire, and they didn't know about the stop, drop, and roll.
Mm-hmm.
My great aunt Dora, her husband came home, saw her on fire through the window.
Mm-hmm.
My uncle JD died in the fire. This is the 5th one. What is going on in my family with fires? And that's what we don't understand.
Robin, I need to talk to you about this off air.
Okay.
So
that's why I want to ask.
There are some generational things I have to ask you.
Okay.
So we can narrow down who in your history, your familial history, entertains. That's not. It's not normal for that many people in one family to die of fire. So I need to have a private conversation with you. This
Okay.
is
Thank
not
you,
for public.
Bishop.
Yeah.
I've been crying.
Yeah.
I've been crying so much with everything going on with my grandkids. You know,
Yeah.
it's been hard.
It's
Bishop.
very tragic. It's supposed to be hard, girl. Ain't easy.
I'm so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I'm
And
hurting, Bishop.
yeah,
I'm hurting.
feeling that way is normal, Robin.
I mean, I have to go to the funeral
Yeah.
to see them, and I
Yeah.
just talked to Jonathan Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, so okay, so I'll call and.
Yeah, we'll talk privately because I have to ask you some things that you'll have to reveal to me that should not be public information.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you.
All
I
right.
love you guys.
Love you too.
I'll see
Bye-bye.
you soon. Just
We'll be
keep
praying
us in
for you.
prayer. I
Absolutely.
Love you well.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Wow. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. This is On Point. We're going to Tom in Florida. Good morning, Tom. How you doing?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Pastor Nick?
Good to hear from you, man.
Hey, love it. Hey, Bishop, you know, you were talking about this 4th of July killer.
Mm-hmm.
His parents, they were called to the home 7 or 9 times over the last couple of years,
Mm-hmm.
but most of it was because of the parents, not because of the kid.
What do you
Because
mean?
of domestic violence.
Oh,
So there's more than meets the eye
okay.
going on with this guy.
So he lived in a violent home. I wonder.
sorry?
I said he lived in a violent home is what you're suggesting.
Oh, yeah. Something's going on there.
I think, you know, you never know. One thing is clear to me is that environment does shape individuals' perspectives and perceptions. And we have to be aware of how our actions impact the lives of other people, the way we talk to them, the way we behave around them. We have to be aware that our action, the fruit we bear, is consumed by the people around us, and we have to be concerned about the kind of fruit. I think, you know, when I talk to parents, in some cases, not a lot, but in some cases, there's not enough concern on how their behavior shapes the children that they say they're trying to raise.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. At the end of the day, me and Pastor Nick were talking about it earlier. The boy's troubled. You know he's troubled, but maybe to them he wasn't that troubled. Perhaps he was,
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, perhaps he was exhibiting some characteristics that they didn't think that was that strange.
and he looks strange.
Well, he looked special to me.
Maybe they thought it was normal.
He looked special to me. You know,
Oh, he looked real.
he looked special, you know. But did he look special in that house is what we need to know.
Yeah, I mean, the tattoos on the neck, I know people wearing them now. Tattoo on his forehead.
He was
the
dressed
color
like a
of hair.
woman, I think.
He had a lot.
He was dressed like a woman on his way somewhere.
Strange look.
He was dressed like a woman on his way to do the killing.
Yeah, he was dressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so he planned to get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, I don't know if you can get a costume and, you know, surreptitiously, strategically get a place to shoot from, and you know, I found the right place to shoot from, blah 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 blah, and suddenly claim insanity.
Yeah.
There's a lot of forethought
Wow.
going in this
Yeah,
thing.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
You can't claim insanity from that if you
Yeah.
planned that out.
And you're dressed like a woman, you're gonna walk right out of the mayhem that you caused.
Yeah.
That
That ain't insane.
doesn't sound insane to me.
No, not at all.
Bishop, change the subject just a little bit.
Okay.
With Clarence Thomas.
Oh,
I saw something, and I didn't realize it was only 55 years ago that another Supreme Court verdict, Loving versus Virginia,
yes,
where
yes.
it stopped interracial marriage throughout this country to where it became illegal, so you could be married to whoever you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
That was against the law in some states until 55 years ago.
Yeah.
But that falls under the same jurisdiction that the Roe versus Wade is right now. And I'm just wondering, people are wondering, how will Clarence Thomas vote in when it comes to the interracial marriage part of
Well,
it.
well, here's the problem. I think it speaks to his awareness of who he is. He's not aware of who he is, because he probably doesn't think that a law change will affect him.
Yeah, he didn't think about that.
No, he doesn't think.
He ain't gonna overturn that one.
You gotta. He doesn't look at himself the same way you or I do. You know, he sees himself as different. But Anita Hill tried to tell
Try
us.
to tell us.
She tried
She
to-
warned us.
I got bad news, Bishop.
But
Man, the governor down here is showing in the polls is.
yeah, man.
I mean, you talk about Florida, the U.S. may become Florida.
Can you imagine?
If him and Trump run together,
Yeah.
I don't know if their egos would be able to make it, but if they run together, that's going to be a challenging piece of work for the Democrats to put somebody against
Yeah,
them.
but it'll be absolutely.
It's
It's a two-headed monster, man.
that's what I'm saying. I don't know if they can coexist.
Yeah, I don't think he.
No.
No.
They're too strong with their personality.
They can't get in the
But-
same room.
Yeah.
PBS and NBC both have DeSantis at the head of the ticket beating Biden right now.
I'm not sure about that.
That conservative base, they like DeSantis. I'm telling you.
Well, they like him, but I don't think they have enough voters.
But they have the right voters in the right states.
Okay,
That's the difference.
They have the electors.
They have the electors versus the popular.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be the issue.
I'm still confused. The system is wrong if the whole world can vote for you, but you got another way of figuring out who won.
Yeah.
It
Well,
should be
what
who.
does
it
is
should be who
take
voted.
the state like-
Yeah. Whoever the
take a
popular
state like
vote should
California.
win.
Yeah, the popular vote should win.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what it does, it takes a state like California that has all kind of votes and goes up against something like Iowa, which doesn't have a lot of votes, but they get the whole state and the electors in those states. So I'm agreeing with you. I mean, California's got a whole lot more people, but it doesn't all count when it comes to electors.
Well, but here's that's why the popular vote should be the thing.
Okay.
I don't know how we can call ourselves democratic. My side wins, and you tell me I didn't.
That's why secretly, I wouldn't say secretly, it's known, but people don't recognize
Yeah.
it. We're actually a republic. We are not a democracy.
Yeah.
And it says it right in there. We
Yeah.
are a republic.
Yep.
And the Electoral College was all about slavery.
Absolutely.
And those southern states have the
Absolutely.
right to do what they want to do.
Absolutely.
And I get it. The numbers were off. That at one time, southern states had less people, northern states had more, so they wanted to balance it out. But we're past that era. We're past that time. It's beyond that moment.
They collateralize the process with people.
Yes.
I remember when I was in banking, and I started banking back in the 70s, and I was going through a loan document, and I saw the word chattel, and I just went by it, and I went by it a couple times until finally I'm like, what is a chattel mortgage? All I know about chattel is people as collateral.
Yep.
And I realized it was a legal term that had been drugged through the years from slavery into modern day banking.
Yeah.
A chattel mortgage.
Yeah. 3/5 of a person.
I saw it on the documents that we approved for people to get loans. That
Wow.
it blew my mind and was always in capital letters.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, Tom. So that's I saw it as early as the 70s on documents, chattel.
Well, I couldn't believe, like I said, the thing with Clarence Thomas, that only 55 years ago, it was actually made illegal through the Supreme Court that you can marry who you want to marry. I didn't realize
It
been that recent.
hasn't been that long, man. And I don't only thing that would have him even approaching that is his perception of himself.
Yeah.
You know, he's not being real. You know, Jenny, is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Virginia, but she goes by Jenny.
Yeah, Jenny does not change who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't happen. Thank you, Tom.
Hey, you guys have a great day.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Anything online, Pastor Nick?
No, just people just chatting.
They just chat?
Yeah.
So there's 2 new strains of COVID. It's surging around the country, and I understand it's early in the week it was 50% of all the cases. Now it's supposed to be up to 60 or 70% of all the cases, making people really sick. And it breaches natural immunity if you had COVID and got over it, and it breaches vaccinated immunity. It just blows right past that.
This lady says she got COVID once, got over it. 5 weeks later, got it again.
Yeah.
It just, obviously she must have got the new strain, the newer one.
Oh
the
yeah,
second time
it's
around.
out here, and
Yeah.
I think we're looking at another surge, unfortunately, because now people are letting down their guards. You know, I find myself when I do have to go into a large box store, I'm amazed at the number of people that are not masked. And I was talking to a guy yesterday. I said, and he was telling me that his wife works in the medical field, and I said, you know, we've dropped mask mandates all over the place, but you can't go into a medical facility without one.
Yep.
What did they know that they're not telling us? Oh no, what have they told us that we're ignoring?
Yep. They know. I mean, and a doctor, she got COVID 5 times over the time, and she posted her. I'm not a medical person. Her accounts, like her T cells were low.
Yep.
Really low, and all these other things I don't understand. How it affected her body to the point where her immune system is like extremely compromised.
Yeah.
And that's why I keep telling people, it may have just been a cold once, but you get a second, third, it keeps chipping away.
What I found out, what appears to be the obvious signs, some people say it was just like a bad flu. They are ignoring the other part of COVID, which is it damages to some extent most people's bodies on the inside.
Yep.
That it challenges areas that are already challenged, challenges areas that you thought were fine. You know, so it's I don't think we take it serious enough.
No. It's going to be here for a long time.
But it doesn't have to be.
I know. And the way somebody said something that we're going to see, I think we're like on the 7th or 8th mutation. It's going to mutate probably like almost 100 times. It's going to keep just going and going.
They say these last 2 make Omicron look like a walk in the park.
Yeah, these variants are real.
You can catch it quicker. It does more to you. It makes you sicker.
Yeah.
They thought Omicron was it.
Yeah.
They got this new one now. They said this is a big brother.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's there's going to come a time where we're going to have to like live with it, but not now at this
Not
stage.
at this pandemic stage.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
that's
not like this.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we get flu shots every year, so we understand the flu, but, you know, most people don't die from the flu.
Right. Yeah.
And most people don't have to be hospitalized from the flu. Okay. And it's, you know, what can you do?
Yep.
So we're up tomorrow.
Yep.
We've got an 8 a.m. virtual service. We want you to join us. We've got our 11 a.m. outdoor service. Looks like the weather's going to be really good. Now, on Wednesday, we have a COVID vaccination clinic here at beginning at 4 o'clock. Is that right?
I forgot to put that on there. 4:30 to about 7:30.
4:30 to 7:30. Now, I understand they're trying to add on cancer screening and
Cool.
something else.
I didn't know that.
To it. Yeah, they're trying to get some commitments to add cancer screening and something else Deacon Trader told me about for Wednesday night's clinic. Wednesday at 4:30. We want you to come out, get your vaccines, and we have the ones for the kids. So you come on out, get your vaccine, get your booster if you need it, that type of thing. That'll be Wednesday night here at the church. Over which is that side?
On that side.
Yeah.
The Knox kids.
Is that the west side? Or is that
I don't know.
okay?
Don't give me the
When you
line.
come up the driveway, make a right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Start 4:30. Yeah.
Yeah, park on that side. Come up the driveway, make a right. Okay. And all are welcome. So there are no restrictions. Just come on out. Now, when you have a prayer request, which a lot of our listeners, a lot of our members, a lot of our friends do, you want to send that request to social@go2bethany.com. Go, the number 2, Bethany.com. And we have some things we'd like you to subscribe to. David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ on YouTube. David G. Evans 1, BBC of NJ on YouTube. And we have some podcast platforms we'd like you to get involved in. the OnPointe podcast platform, and the DGEMS, DGEMS, or David Gems Ministries podcast platform. We want you to get involved in that. How much time do we have? We got about 2 minutes. 10 minutes? Okay.
Yeah, can you say about your anniversary real quick?
Yeah, man. Who's on the phone? Or didn't I hang up? Okay, maybe they're inducting them. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Wednesday's 4:30, 6:30.
Yeah.
For the vaccine booths.
Right.
Vaccines. Of course, your anniversary is this month.
Okay.
32 years. Celebrating on July the 24th.
My.
We'll give more announcements about,
Okay.
drive up and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
You can, of course, sow into a bishop's life. We're asking for at least $100. If you could do more, do more. If you can't do the 100, do the best that you can. But love is shown through action, and we want to show that love, action-oriented. All the stuff's on our website, as well as Givelify. You can mail it in, send a card in. Or we do the drive-by. You can bring your card, wave, and say hello and do all that good stuff.
No, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Going to have a great time. The phones are lit up again. Let's go. We've got Linda from Brooklyn. Hi, Linda. How are you?
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Doing great. Welcome to OnPointe.
Thank you.
What's your comment today?
I wanted to address the fact that this is my personal opinion, that the Republicans at this point in time, when you look at the January 6th committee and how they're coming out to speak and say what Trump was doing, I believe that they had, at the time he was in office, he did what they needed him to do, because you see how the Supreme Court has been fixed to go with the conservatives, how he has been able to place all of these Republican judges on federal courts and things of that nature. So they used him, and he did what they wanted him to do. So now they have no more need for him. So they're throwing him to the wolves, and let it be whatever may be.
I've heard that point of view before. And you make some sense, especially based on history and human nature. Oftentimes, we do bring people in to do dirty jobs, and then after that, they're discarded. So that's not uncommon in history. So you could be onto something.
Yeah,
I mean, because you see now at this point, like everybody, like they no longer have any fear to come out and say A, B, C, and D, because the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, which is what they've been fighting for years. And even with that, the overturn of that abortion right, I mean, at the end of the day, I again believe that they did that because the Caucasian population is no longer the majority. They are the minority. And regardless of how they want to use that weaponize that law, they would never be the majority again.
I think the radicals of the faith, when I look at the fact that they were willing to be silent based on the president's behavior, that level of cooperation by them was then, I believe, them saying, okay, we don't like him at all, but we need him to do this.
Yes. So we're praying for him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There was a big Christian conservative convention. One of the prophets that we know.
Okay.
Actually, I think maybe one or two you may know.
Okay.
We're there praying over Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's her name.
For
right?
what? That she would get delivered?
No.
I'm sorry. That was in poor taste. I'm sorry.
Praying that God put her in place
to do what?
Bring His will to pass in the United States, and they were all praying. And
Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Yes. They had this big, huge Christian conservative conference.
And you said there's a couple guys I know?
Yeah, I know one in particular. You know.
Okay.
I got to get the rest of the names. We're praying over her.
Bizarre. Her behavior is absolutely unacceptable. Her approach is unacceptable.
Yeah.
I don't. You don't hear an ounce of godly love coming out of that woman's mouth. Not an ounce.
Yep.
Right.
Not one bit.
Okay.
But that's how same thing with Trump. They're doing with her and Babbitt, whatever her name is, Babbitt.
But they don't see the continuity. They're not connecting the dots. They don't see the repetition that, okay, we need you to act crazy, but after a while we're not going to have any use for you.
But also I believe that throughout history, leaders have chose to, they pick and choose what they want to use out of the Bible to push their agenda, but they're not given the entire passage. Like they used to use certain passages out of the Bible to uphold their reason for slavery.
Mm-hmm.
So, and to me, again, it's just my personal opinion that many of the conservative right-wing pastors, they're not holding true to God's word. They're picking and choosing to push their agenda.
Well, I think what they have to do is compromise what it says, or stop talking about what it says in order to fulfill their political agenda, and the Bible's pretty clear on that. The Lord says, if you break these commandments, and for those that teach others to break them, that there's judgment. That's what Jesus says in the New Testament. So I think what we're watching is the revelation of the enemies that have been sown into the same field as God's church. That's what we're watching.
Mm-hmm.
So we're actually seeing the wheat and the tares in the same field.
Right.
Well, then, thank you.
Thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely.
Have a blessed day and continue to do what you're doing.
Call us again.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Let's go to Danny. Hey, Danny, how you doing?
Bishop, good morning. How you doing, Pastor Nick?
Morning.
Doing all right, man. You got about 3 minutes.
Sure. I just wanted to say right quick, when you were talking about the virus,
Mm-hmm.
and I called in maybe about 4 weeks ago, and I was telling you about the surge that we were experiencing here.
Yes.
But you're not hearing anything about it. And also, we used to have testing stations where one could go in, and if they were not sure as to what was the problem, they would know definitely, and they would be able to define what strain it is and how bad you would have it.
Okay.
There's none of that anymore.
They took them all away?
Now there's someone passing away.
So they removed all that stuff that could help support and identify?
Yeah, they're gone. They're gone. And people are going on. I'm looking at the cruise ships and what have you, but you hear about people coming back off the cruise that catch it on the cruise.
Very ill.
But you're not hearing it on the media.
Yeah, very ill. Yeah, I think any form of transportation where you're sitting together and you're, for days on end, there's hours on end, there's going to be an issue.
And the other thing that I'm wondering, we hear about the airlines and the cancellations and things that's going on. Could that possibly be part of the situation?
I think it's either the attrition that has happened over time and a combination of them. They say they don't have enough help, but some of that has to be a lot of the help is sick.
Oh, yeah. Their pilots are protesting, and I
Yeah.
think it was with Southwest, I think, and a couple of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're saying travel now is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Cancel flights all over the place.
Yeah. You don't go to the airport and you don't know if you're going to get a flight.
Mm-hmm. And if you refund you your money, then you got to buy a new ticket, which is a whole lot more just to get home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay.
Me too.
I'm good. I'm good. I ain't got time to be stuck nowhere.
No, man. How's my sister doing, Dan?
Bless, Bishop.
Glad to hear it, man.
Tremendously blessed.
So your governor seems to be gaining in some national attention. I won't say popularity, but gaining national attention.
Well, it's going back to what I was saying all the time, is that they know that someone running that really wants to go ahead for the presidential seat will not properly qualify, won't be available, but they're trying to put him in that position so that he'll either run with him or he will be the only one on the ticket.
Okay. Well, that's from if he even gets close to elected, that's from bad to bad.
Probably a little bit worse than that, but that's what it looks like, And
well,
like I said, a few weeks ago, he was there in New York City.
I think DeSantis is the more polished Trump. That's all he is.
Okay, and that's
he
polished.
knows politics.
And that's polished.
And that's more. He knows politics.
Yeah.
He can give you all the Trump side with it presented a little more with political experience.
Okay.
He doesn't come across as a dunce.
Okay. I think he comes across as insane, but we can
Yeah,
talk about
insane.
that
But
later.
yeah, insane, yes. But
Yeah.
I'm talking about like
Yeah.
he's measured
Yeah.
versus just saying,
Yeah, sometimes.
yeah.
I think he's.
No, he said some crazy stuff, but I
Yeah.
think he at least
They're both nuts.
presents it in a way
Yeah.
that's not
Okay.
pubescent and,
Both men give you a reason to pray.
yes.
Yes.
He's more
And
polished.
he
That's
has
all.
a way of testing the water first.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Before, because he see what the constituents want, and then he'll go ahead and present it.
Oh, my.
Grab a hold of it and keep it going.
Danny, we're out of time.
Yeah.
All right, Bishop.
All right, man. Tell sis I said hello.
All right, thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us today on Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. Don't forget to join us tomorrow, 8 a.m. virtually, 11 a.m. live outdoors on our stage. We're going to have a great time in the Lord. You can either sit in seats or sit in your car. Either way, where you're most comfortable. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we celebrate the Lord's Day. Now, for Pastor Nick Smith, I'm Bishop David G. Evans. Remember, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. See you next time.